I'm here with John Houston, Vice President of Information Security and Privacy and Associate Counsel for UPMC, an $11 billion health system headquartered in Pittsburgh. John participated in a privacy and security forum panel that addressed insider threats. What I want to start with is just the phrase insider threat. How do you define that for healthcare?
You know, I think of an insider as being anybody that provides some service for you, or a staff member, somebody who is sort of either directly or indirectly part of your organization. And an example would be, obviously your employees would be insiders, but if you have contractors, you have other people that are providing some service to you or on your behalf. I look at those as sort of being part of the organization or the extended organization, and so I would consider any of those individuals to be insiders.
Now, how are they considered, or how do you define them as being threats? Is it a concern you've got to look at every day that your employees might be doing something illegal out there?
I think you have to assume that. If you think about delivering health care, in order to deliver quality health care, you have to have very good, rich information about the patient. And you need to make that information available to all of those individuals who need that information in order to deliver a particular service. Now, HIPAA says that we need to have role-based security and access, and so we're only supposed to give the individual the information that he or she needs in order to do his or her job, which is true. But in most cases, that's still an enormous amount of information. And that information can be not just what we think about as being, medical information, diagnoses or test results or information of medications, things like that. It's also information like demographic information, potentially even somebody's social security number, or other information that could be used in order to commit identity theft.
What are the most common threats that you're concerned about?
I think that they really fall into two categories. I think that clearly our society places a great value on privacy and the confidentiality of medical information. And so one class of information is what's in the medical record. Somebody's diagnosis, somebody's test results, the medications they're on, things like that. So that's one class of information that we would want to protect. But the other class of information is information that could be used to commit financial identity theft. It could be, as I said before, somebody's social security number. It could be their address. It could be things like that. But it also could be credit card information. Being a large health system, we allow our patients to pay for a lot of their services or their co-pays with a credit card. We use credit cards for everything from cafeteria transactions to parking garage transactions. So in the space of a year, we would collect many thousands of our patients and consumers' credit card information. So that information as well could be used to commit identity theft. So we need to be worried about that class of information as well as the medical information I described before.
Now, a lot of what we're talking about here is malicious. How often it's well-intentioned but accidental, or not malicious?
Both occur. Sometimes somebody will say, oh, I was concerned about my relative and I went and looked up their record. Doesn't make it right. And in fact, we are very aggressive about monitoring for that type of access and going after staff members that inappropriately access that type of information. And so, that class of information, we see that type of activity, I would say fairly often. And we have, as I said, very sophisticated monitoring systems in place to try to catch that type of access. And we discipline that individual based upon what they've done. But you still have the other class of individual who is trying to do something with bad intent. Maybe is trying to steal information in order to commit identity theft, or they're trying to take information for some other inappropriate purpose. It isn't just because they're concerned. They may, I won't even go into the reasons, but there are a lot of reasons why somebody might want to look at information. And so we have to, we can't get inside of somebody's head and say, oh, well, you know, that person was just looking because they were concerned. We have to take every inappropriate access and frankly address it, and you know, as a case of a staff member, discipline, and because regardless of what that person believes is why they would do something good, you know, good intended or otherwise, it's still wrong. And so we really need to set a very high benchmark and a very high standard for people's access.